The tip this week is about putting in a zipper. And this is not one of my favorite treatments for knitwear because knitting is stretchy and zippers are not. So this is an inherent problem. I've seen some sweaters where the zipper is tight and then the rest of the sweater just drags. So if you're going to do this, put it in a fabric that is very dense, like I did one with garter stitch on small needles, so it was a very tight fit. Cast On had a lovely little children's sweater done in mosaic stitch by Suzanne Bryant a few years ago, and that is again a heavy-duty fabric that is conducive to putting in a zipper. But if you should choose to put one in, there's no real, recommended way to do it. Now, how I do it, because I'm kind of a control freak, is that I baste it in place first, and this isn't the basting thread. You just loopily baste it in, and then you sew it in place. Now, I like to line mine up so they're right next to the teeth, and you do not want to get the stitches too close to the teeth, because if you do, then the yarn is going to get caught in there and it's going to shred and it's not going to be a pretty thing. Now, half the thing of putting in a zipper is the preparation of the selvage edges, and this you need to think about as you're knitting the piece. This isn't I think I'm going to put in a zipper. Generally what I do is I'll use some kind of selvage treatment. I did not in this case. I'll tell you what I did, because this is a sample I use in class. And what my selvage treatment is I'll slip the first stitch of the row or the edge where the zipper is going to be. Not only does this give it a more attractive edge, but it's something you can actually line up on the zipper, and you can seam inside between the stitches. And what I do, and I've done that treatment several times, is that I will actually go in as if I were doing a mattress stitch or something, and I will go in and catch every horizontal bar. Now, in this case, what I've done is I have picked up an edge, and I've bound it off at the same time. And if you look at this, you can see that this is a bound off edge. And so I picked it up and I get this lovely little edge. Now on one side, because when you bind off, you're going to be binding off from one side or the other, I bound off on the right side and knitwise, and on the other side I had to bind off purlwise on the wrong side, and that's what gives you this edge. Now when I did this zipper, what I did is I actually, and it's so well done, you can't really see it, I went in to the center of each stitch, and if you look very closely, you can see that there is thread in there. If you go to the next one, there's thread. And so my zippers are sewn in very tightly, as you can see on the back as well. Now, you can use a sewing machine. I am not a very good seamstress, and for me to seam a zipper on a sewing machine, well, it wouldn't be very pretty. But had I done this one, I would have probably sewn it along this edge. Instead, I prefer the way I do it. It is more time consuming, but for those of you that have looked at my tips, you can tell that I don't mind taking a lot of time, particularly when it comes to finishing. But again, to sum up on zippers, think first about whether a zipper is going to work, and then select a zipper. In my blog, I will have some information about zippers. There's a good online source for purchasing zippers, and you can customize them. In this, I wanted a heavy-duty zipper because I wanted it to stand out. This is a class sample, but you have a lot of variation in the type of zippers that you have, and so you're going to want to select one that's appropriate to the fabric and the color as well. Again, I wanted this one to stand out, so that's why it's in red. And sometimes, a zipper in knitted garment can be very decorative, and that's part of the process.